So I'm back in collaborations, and I want to show you a different way of doing collaborations. And originally I only had one student. I've added a couple of students just because I want to show you one thing. So let's say I create an Algebra 2 collaboration, and Harry is my only student, but if I'm thinking I want this to be the only folder, the only collection in my Google Docs where students are submitting files, let me just show you what that would mean. I'm just going to add a couple of more people to this. So I have 3 more students. I'm sure they're very happy to be in my class. I'm going to add them as writers. Now, I don't have access to their student account, so I can't really show you what they see, but it's the same as Harry. They can see this collection. However, what this means is they all have write access to the same file. So if they are all submitting a paper or a document into that one folder, they can all see it. They can possibly all have write access. You may not want that. You may not want quite such a public folder where everybody's dumping everything into the same folder. So I'm going to delete Gabe, Tony, and Steve. So they're the only, right now Harry is the only one that has access to that folder. So I guess what I could do is create a separate folder for each student and share it with them individually, but that gets kind of unwieldy if you think about it. That's a lot of work. If you want to do it that way, you can. But there might be a different way to do it, and I want to show you that. Instead of me, the instructor, creating a folder for every one of my 100 to 120 students, what we could do on the first day of class or the first week of class is have your students create a folder and share it with me. They create it individually and make sure they share it with me. So I'm going to show you how that might work. It works exactly the same. So here I am in my student account. What I'm going to do is my instructor has told me I'm going to create a collaboration collection, and I'm going to title it I highly recommend you get into a naming convention where you have the course and the period and the name of the student, at least. There might be, you might want to add more, but at the very least it's going to get really unwieldy if you have 100 plus students sharing collections with you and they're all named different things. And so I'm just going to hit submit. Alright, so I've created a collection. I'm just going to go into my collections. There it is, Algebra 2 period 3 with my name on it as a student. Show details, and the student would do the same thing. They can add the instructor as a writer. Boom. Okay, so that's great. Harry has a folder. He can add documents into that folder. I'll show you how to do that in a second. And all of my other students then can do the same thing. I'm just going to back out, and here I am as an instructor. So here I've got one folder that I can expect Harry Wong's things to be in there, and we're both owners there. In theory, if you do it this way, again, play it out a little bit, you will have a number of collections in here. Alright, you'll also have a number of collections in here shared with me. Again, I'm in as a teacher. And this is my actual Google Docs, which I use for my real job when I'm not pretending to be a teacher on OpenClass. So you can see how crazy it could be, and it will be very nice to keep these things separate. And there are ways to organize it, or organize all these collections in here as well, if you want to keep all your Algebra 2 period 3 collections in another folder. But that's a different discussion. But what I'm going to say is I highly recommend a consistent naming convention. Course, period, name at the very least. Otherwise it's going to get very confusing for you and very confusing for the students as well. If they've got 7 teachers that are asking them to do 7 different types of collections in 7 different places, I think it would be really helpful for them to have some sort of naming convention.